Everyone was waiting for the kind of culmination of your words of wisdom as to just kind of living once and doing it.
Yeah, like I, I yeah, I'm just a firm believer in that. Like life is more than your political leanings or there's just so much of that now. Like everyone's so worried about everyone else's thing that we don't like and what they don't like. It's what a waste of time. I've always thought like if you have something you want to do, go do it. Stop being so worried about what other people are doing. That's like kind of been my thing, right? Um, and ever since I was a kid, I just wanted to do this. I wanted to do art. When I discovered that I could sing, I thought that sounds awesome. Let's keep going on that. I mean, that's kind of what life is, is just going after the things you love and doing it. It's not about like, I get, it's annoying when people talk about like, success stories or failures because there really isn't any. You can't really lose if you're trying to do your thing. I mean, losses are just learning experiences. I mean, I would say that for anybody that's um, tried to do the anybody that hasn't won like something like Mad Cave's contest, for instance. We do it again next year.
Yeah.
There's no failures. Like the only failure is if you get defeated and don't try anymore. So that's my words of wisdom. What do you think?
I think you nailed it. Totally. So, for those who aren't familiar with you and your work, and of course have not read the last session yet, what can they expect from the first issue of the last session?
I think you can expect that it's not going to be your usual sword and sorcery adventure. We really wanted it to be something a little bit different while having all of the fun nostalgia of a gaming session. So it's half slice of life, half in-game fantasy mode, which was really fun to write because we get to talk about a lot of stuff that's like, you're hitting it. All the characters are hitting an age where they're just finishing off their first couple years of college, and they're all kind of moving in different directions and very anxious about it because they've been this tight group of friends for 4 years, and then you have someone new coming in, and kind of messes with the dynamic somewhat. But at the same time, you also have the in-game action, so you get a lot of that fun, big fantasy adventure feel at the same time as you're getting this kind of slice of life, a little more low stakes, kind of,
Yeah.
kind of
That's
feel
awesome.
to it.
Right. You might not lose your favorite character, but your favorite character might lose their favorite character.
Yeah.
And that matters to me.
Yeah. I think you can also expect a lot of great interpersonal relations between the characters. Jasmine's done such a phenomenal job in building out like a fully fledged ensemble cast of like 5 or 6 characters that are just, they all have their own goals and motivations and backstories, and like with the new addition of the DM's partner becoming a player, like it just kind of throws everything off kilter and off balance, and it's them just like dealing with it as any normal friend group would have to deal with. And I think Jasmine did a great job of having that play out.
Same time.
Exactly.
So then, in doing this, how did this piece come together? How did it come about? Was it something that you had just kind of like pitched in a sense of like, here's my idea, Mad Cave, let's make a thing? Or was this something that was like collaborative initially?
Very collaborative, I think. It was, I got the initial kernel, and then I came back and said, here's all the changes I'd like to make. What do you guys think? You tell me, hey, if you have some freedom and change this up, I'm going to go a little wild with it. And then go a lot of going back and forth and kind of hammering out little details and making sure it's all really steady. And that's where editorial is just, you can't get better than having a good editor at that stage. It's so good. It makes the story so much better.
I think a very big one, and one that I tell people now as well, is wait, what was it? Don't worry about finishing stuff. If you want to get into comics, just draw however much you want of a comic, and if you never finish it, then you never finish it. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Like, don't stress over it. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
great.
eventually you're gonna have to finish stuff anyway. So while you're practicing and learning, just don't worry that much about it because it's going to give you a lot more anxiety than you should be dealing with, honestly.
Yeah, and that might stop people from starting at all if they're worried about not being able to finish.
Yeah, because I've had problems with that as well. And when you don't finish something, you always get that in that mindset of like, oh my god, what am I doing? I didn't finish. I need to finish. But you lack the inspiration to finish. So then, what are you supposed to do? I think it's easier like either take a break, do something else, come back to it later, or just maybe that's it. That was all that was gonna come out of that, and you just drop it and move to the next project.
Yeah.
It's better to diversify than to cry yourself to sleep for 3 weeks because of a simple drawing.
Yeah, that's really good advice. That's really excellent. I'm sure a lot of people can benefit from that. Oh my goodness, look at their faces coming together. I can't handle how cute they're looking.
They're so cute in the comic. Please read it. I got to read it and I was like, oh my god. Like, I knew I was gonna like it.
Mhm.
It's like, not to spoil anything, but it's my favorite. Besides my own, obviously.
Right, of
But
course. Yeah.
of course. But out of all of them, I thought from the beginning, I thought this was gonna be my favorite, and then I got to read it 2 weeks ago or so, and I was like, yeah,
That's very cool.
it's my favorite.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm glad that it lined up like that. If we can and decide on a winner, did we get to show them your favorite dice? I've got mine out. While we're talking about dice, I've got mine here. Mine are
yeah.
obsidian. These are my favorites.
Let's do it. It's
They're
on.
all black on black obsidian, and those are my babies.
I have gotten as a present the set for the warrior shaped dices.
Whoa, those are so cool.
They are. And I like that I was rolling a monk using d10s that are fists as my damage. So that
Wow.
was super fitting. And, oh well, you got to have a metal dice set, which is mandatory, I think.
Of course.
And some, yeah. Elven
It's for the
dices, which I
noise.
inherit. Yeah, it is for the noise.
It's also
Absolutely,
the
just to
sound
annoy the people in the chat when you roll them on the streaming.
Uh-huh.
This is the loudest possible noise to disrupt
Exactly.
the ambience. Roll that 20 and fail horribly.
So, for those who are not familiar with your work, what can readers expect from Nightmare in Savannah specifically?
Nightmare Savannah is weird and queer and spooky, and it's about friendship and
That's my Twitter
love,
bio.
but also murder. Oh, well, not quite murder.
Okay.
Almost murder.
Weird, queer, and spooky is how I describe myself, so that's great.
Target audience achieved.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. After reading it, I'm like, yeah, that is exactly how I would describe it. It is weird. It is queer. It's one of those stories that like you think you kind of know where it's going and you're like, yeah, I understand this like genre and this kind of setting. It twists you. I love that.
Yeah, I'm big on the twist. I don't really want to walk down well-trodden paths. I mean, there's lots of wonderful stories that, take that same path, and I love them. Mm-hmm. But, my weird brain is like, let's go that way.
Yeah. What, and this is another like high school centric question. We're really diving into high school you. What was lunch like when you were in high school? We had bouncing chicken nuggets.
I mean, it's similar actually. The grossest pizza you can find.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And like every day there were like mozzarella sticks that were basically just
you have to do that.
Yeah. There were some nondescript cheese in a batter that was fried.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And then
very healthy.
There was not very many healthy options.
And were you a cafeteria kid or a lunch from home kid?
I became a cafeteria kid because I would always leave my lunch at home. I would consistently forget. So eventually my mom was just like, we're not doing this. Just go eat at school.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not going to keep wasting my time making it for you. Yeah,
Pretty
absolutely.
much.
Understandable.
What about for you in high school? I know you had popular private school. So like it has to have been better than these mozzarella sticks.
Oh, from what I know, it was good, but I've literally never stepped foot in the cafeteria, so I have no idea.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, until like halfway through high school, I didn't even know we had a cafeteria.
So were you a lunch from home kid then?
Sometimes, but like most of the time, because I don't know what time school ends in America, but for us, like at noon, you were pretty much done. So most people would just wait and then we'd go across the street at the McDonald's.
Oh, that's so much better.
So much better. Yeah,
or
no,
just go home
ends
and
at like
eat. So.
3:30 p.m. here.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So like
why?
Yeah.
Well,
Why would you do that to yourself?
it's an excellent question.
It's not like we chose.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna show you my cat right
Oh my
now
God, hello.
because she can't stand it when I'm on a video call.
Oh, I love her.
And she will drive me crazy. So
What-
this is my cat Tag.
Tag.
She is, yes, because I was walking down the street and a little streak of lightning came out of the woods and started loving on my legs. And I was like, okay, where are you from? So I tried to take her to different places and they were all like, that's not my cat. And so I started running zigzags down the street to try to shake her. And she just kept catching me and playing tag. We were playing tag. So that's how she got her name.
How I got my cat stories are my favorite stories because I feel like, I mean, this is like a thing that goes around on the internet a lot, but people are always like, oh, I adopted my dog. I actually flew to Seattle to meet up with the person who I adopted them from. And cats are always like, so I heard a rumble in a dumpster, right?
Right. It was either a raccoon or a cat. 50-50, I just reached in there and grabbed.
Exactly. I have two cats of my own, and I found one of them at a funeral, just wandering around at a graveyard.
Perfect.
So that's
Perfect.
the kind of cats. I love a cat story.